Hey, welcome to the Wicker Bar. You know me, I'm the host of this video, Lord Zippy Blaine, the Duke of the goddamn motherfucking Delridge. I'm cooking dinner tonight. I'm making up a couple of cocktails. For dinner this evening, I'm doing some short ribs that are braised in some Chimay. And this is a Belgian ale, and in this day and age, with everybody wagging their wieners around for the taste of a fine IPA, the old import beers are a little bit harder to come by than they used to be. So this took me a while to find it. I wished I could have found it in they used to do it in like a 4-pack, a smaller bottle. I do believe, or maybe I'm thinking the Duvel. Anyway, so $18 bottle of beer right here, and I opted for this one versus the Grand Reserve, which comes in the with the blue label, and that one was like $19. So we're doing some Chimay braised short ribs. We're gonna get into that later on. And we're out of the. This is one of our favorite cookbooks right here. We don't bust this one out too often because it's kind of fancy, and today is Saturday, so we're making it fancy. This is a Zuni cookbook by Judy Rogers. Zuni Cafe was a spot down in, was it San Francisco or Albuquerque, New Mexico, or where was that? I don't even remember. But way back in the day, one of Rael and I's, one of our things was we were always getting autographed cookbooks, and this one is for Blaine and Rael. Always cook with heart, and that's what we're doing this evening. We're cooking with heart. So this is a James Beard award-winning restaurant, and it just seems fitting that we're doing cocktails out of the official mixer's manual for home and professional use by Patrick Gavin Duffy, revised and enlarged by James A. Beard. It only seemed appropriate. So if you ever see this one at the thrift store, this is a pretty good one. It has all the drinks divided up by liquor. It can be a little confusing, but anyway, it's a good one. So we picked a couple of 3 cocktails out of that book, and the one that we're going to do first is called the Golden Clipper. And the only difference is we didn't have any peach liqueur. We had some pear liqueur. So we're going pear instead of peach. But still, we got some rum. We have some London Dry gin in there. And I'm going to juice up a little teeny bit of this orange right here, because we need a couple of ounces of orange juice. And down here we don't have the a proper juicer, you know, that type of deal there. And this is probably the last weekend down here, remote location. And we were out. We went for a little walk this morning down in the sleepy town of Shelton, Washington. And then we went to have breakfast. And then we decided to go for a little drive.
We got caught in a squall.
We got caught in a squall while we were on our walk. And we decided to go for a little drive. And we're on this road where the speed limit is clearly marked at 35 miles an hour. And we look up ahead, and there is a car that had just crashed. And it had just happened, probably couldn't have been more than 10 or 15 seconds before we got there. But it was an older gentleman. He was wearing his Vietnam veteran colors. And he was driving a Porsche, and I'm not sure if it's a Porsche Panamera or Panamera. It's a four door. So he was an older gentleman in his late 70s. He had claimed to hit a wet spot. There was no wet spot in the road. So we stopped, helped him out, helped him get out of his car. He was unable to because all the airbags had deployed. So he was having a little bit of trouble getting out of his car. He wasn't injured. He had hurt his shoulder. He was a little disoriented, and I had to keep him from continuing to walk out of the road because cars were speeding by. And the interesting thing, among many of the interesting things that happened with that, is the only people that stopped to help this guy, and I'm not a young person, so I'm not even going to count myself in that, it was only young people that stopped. Everybody else just drove right on by. It was fucking crazy. It's just, I mean, what has happened to this world when somebody will not even take a few moments to help their fellow human being that's in a little bit of a distressed state. So Rail got on the phone, called 911. Another car stopped. They called 911 as well, and yeah, aid car showed up, and I think everything was okay. He was a little. He was saying it was a $150,000 car. I don't believe so because it was a 4-door for one thing. So, yeah, whatever. So anyway, here we go. The Golden Clipper number 2 because we're using pear, and this one's really easy because it's gonna get 2 ounces of everything. And then we're gonna make this. I'm just gonna dump all that in there. We're gonna make this cocktail. Oh, that's 2.5. I'll just do 2.5 of everything. How about that? I'm gonna get this shaken up. Then I'm gonna pull out the stuff. We're gonna braise these short ribs, and the recipe in the Zuni cookbook, she is only braising them aside with the Chimay, half Chimay, half beef stock. She's just throwing in some whole peppercorns, a few bay leaves and onions, and some dried mushrooms if you have them. We happen to have some dried porcini, so we'll reconstitute those in a little bit of water as well. But we're gonna throw in a few radishes and some carrots and maybe this last potato that's here. We were thrown for another loop. This has happened to us a couple of times this season where we've come down here to a remote location to find out that the breaker has tripped on the refrigerator. So we've lost, I don't know, between this time and the last time, I don't know, probably around $600 worth. $600 worth of food, and it fucking stinks. You can imagine what a bunch of chicken pieces festering away in a refrigerator for about a month. That's nasty. There we go. The Golden Clipper number 2.
You should move the bottles.
Shouldn't I? And then after we do the Golden Clipper, we are going to do one of these other 2. We have the Tulip, which it seems like to me like we've done the Tulip before. And then the other one is the Star number 2. And the book didn't have a Star number 1, so I don't really know what that's all about. But the one thing that we were able to salvage out of the fridge was all of these citrus fruits that we remembered to put in the refrigerator. We did kind of wash them all off because the freezer's what's really nasty. I would not use ice out of that ice maker ever again. Nasty. Oh yeah, that's nice. It's more, a little bit more. No, I got a little pear, a little back of the pear. Orange is up there a little bit more forward. Okay, so just hang tight. I've got the short ribs. They're just about ready. She suggests taking the short ribs and salting them one or 2 days in advance, and that is what I have done. And I'm going to get those out. And I'm going to brown them off, and I'm hoping this pan is going to be big enough. Might be a little tight in there, but
We have the blue one.
yeah. Oh, let's use this one. It's sexier. Okay, so hang tight. Enjoy this cocktail. And I'm going to get back and I'm going to finish making this here for me and Rayo. You guys aren't here. Here are our short ribs, and unfortunately I didn't have time to go to the butcher, so I had to get these at the grocery store. And when I get them at the grocery store, they usually pack three or 4 to a pack, and sometimes there's only 2 of them. When you do something like this, it's really nice if they're all about the same size. There we go. I think our pan is nice and hot. And here, just to show you the porcinis, I think I've mentioned in previous videos of how I've purchased a less expensive dried mushroom, and it was all gritty and it just didn't work at all. I think we're about ready. Our onion, we don't have any bay leaf, but we have our onion, just a few mushrooms, and just a couple of radishes, and a couple of carrots I'm going to throw in there. And you kind of want to dry the meat off when you're doing like a browning or something like this, because it just helps it get a little bit more color to it. So I'm going to cook these, obviously, meat side down. It's going to be about 3 minutes aside. See those beefy ones in there. You don't want to crowd it. Don't want to crowd the pan. Don't crowd the pan. There we go. Then when they're done and brown, I'm going to put them on this pan. Then I'm going to I'll see how much fat is in there. If I need to drain some of that out, I will. And then I'm going to add the short ribs back in with our vegetables. I'm going to give these, give those dried mushrooms a little chop. And these other mushrooms here, I'm definitely going to, I'm going to half those. And we have a couple of shallots over here. I might go ahead and throw those in there as well, just because we have them. So if you all just hang tight, and I'm going to be right back. Ooh, here we go. So look at those short ribs. I got some nice color on them, and I did drain the grease out of there, and I've got my veggies all prepped up and ready to go. So I'm gonna put these in the pan, and I have the oven preheated to 300 degrees. And you can braise these on the stove top too if you'd like. I don't know. I like to do the braising in the oven. And these are going to take 2.5 hours. So I'm going to put these in the pan, bone side down. And then I'm going to I'm going to give this pan enough time to I want the liquid to be hot when I put it into the oven. I don't want to put the liquid to be cold when I put it in there. All right, there they are. They're arranged in there nicely, not too crowded. Let's get our vegetables in there. Just start half an onion. And she suggests cutting it up into bigger pieces because the idea with the onion, she didn't want it to be where it kind of disintegrated in the braise. Just one little potato there. I'm going to cut these up. I'm going to cut these radishes up. A little shallot, just cut because we had it. Might as well use it. A couple of carrots. A couple of mushrooms there. I don't think I'm going to put all those in there. Let me cut these radishes in half. And having had the opportunity to be in Belgium,
What are those?
Those are the dried mushrooms, the dried porcini. Having had the opportunity to be in Belgium, be in Belgium, drinking Belgian beer. I'm sorry guys, but over here in the United States, I've not found one that says, they say that they're done in the spirit of the Belgian ales, and I just don't. They always just seem to fall a little flat. It's kind of like when the Weizen became popular here in Seattle in the late 80s, and we had already had it in Germany, and it's like, it's just not the same. All right, so let's get our Chimay in there. Ooh, bubbly. I don't want the vegetables and the beef to be totally covered. I want it to be about 3/4 of the way up. That's looking good. Let me throw a little bit more of the Chimay in there. Oh, perfect. Delicious. All right, I'm going to crank this heat up. So like I said, about 2.5 hours in the oven, 300 degrees. And with this, we're either going to do some soft polenta or buttered noodles. We have some asparagus, we have some spinach that we might cook up as well. So everybody just hang tight. When this gets up to a boil, we'll stick it in the oven, and then I'll make the next cocktail for you. And I think I'm going to do the star number 2 because we do have a grapefruit here that we'd like to kind of try to use up some of these citrus fruits that we have down here. So everybody just hang tight, and we're going to be back. All right, well, here we go. I didn't want you to think I was going to exclude you from part of our journey of this wonderful Saturday afternoon. Of course, it's raining all day long, and then just like the past 3 days, the sun comes out in the afternoon. So I don't know, maybe we'll go walk around in the wet grass or go do something. So here we are. We're doing the star number 2. Once again, out of the Patrick Gavin Duffy, the official mixer's guide for home and professional use, including special new sections on wines, their selection, care, and service, plus Frank Schoonmaker's new vintage chart. bunch of wines that are no longer available, and probably some of them, if you happen to have them in your wine cellar, they might be worth a lot of money. So here we go. We don't have any actual, proper Calvados, but we do have a bottle of Laird's Applejack here. We're going to throw that in there. We're back with our London Dry Gin, and it's going to have just a whisper of dry vermouth, a little whisper of sweet vermouth, and some grapefruit. So once again, bear with me. This is going to be a strong one because really not a whole lot of juice in here. But we do have this delicious grapefruit. There we go. Getting there. Almost. I only need about 3 tablespoons of grapefruit, or I don't know, that's about a half an ounce or so. There we go. Short ribs are in the oven. Timer is on. I'm going to keep checking them to make sure that the liquid is staying where it needs to stay. All right, here we go. We're going to go on 3 ounces of our gin. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, this is a stiff one. 3 ounces of gin. 3 ounces of our Laird's Applejack. Just a whisper. Where's my little whisper? Here we go. About a teaspoon and a half. Oop. Sweet. And about it. There we go. Oh, there we go. Of our dry vermouth as well. And then, where are we at here? Boom. And there is our grapefruit. Hopefully I can stay awake for this dinner. No, I don't. There we go. And I guess if we're doing the soft polenta, I got some time. But that will be the next thing that I get going on. This is going to be a sipper. Boom, Rael. Join me. All right. Oh, I smell the gin is cutting right through there. Oh, holy moly. Woo. Oh, god damn, that's fucking strong. I'm sorry for cursing. That was really, really strong.
That's gonna need some more juice.
You think so? Woo. God darn. All right, hang tight, real time. You're watching TV time. We don't have like 6 ovens here where we can, have one batch of the short ribs, It's Saturday night, so we like to splurge on Saturday night, but they're not giving that shit away, so we don't have like extras. We don't have anybody else here to feed. So it's just us. So hang tight, real time. Just think 2.5 hours. So if I'm a little bit later and I'm ready to, come on, hey mate. Okay, we'll be back. All right, here we go. I mean, can you believe it's been almost 2 hours? We finished the cocktails. We've moved on to a delightful little Chardonnay here. I'm not sure. I think this either came from the Vanderpoels or the Holitzes. I can't remember. It's delicious. Got our asparagus going. I have our soft polenta. And we didn't actually have polenta because it's all in the way that the different grind of the cornmeal. So we just had actually cornmeal that we used. And there was an Anthony Bourdain trick that he did where he would soak, if you're doing polenta, he would soak the polenta in your liquid for a couple hours and it would speed up the cooking. Did something like that. This is kind of a bit smoother. Asparagus is going. I'm about ready to pull out these short ribs. I'm gonna put them up here. I'm gonna pull those short ribs out. I'm gonna put them on this pan, and I'm going to reduce the sauce. So hang tight. We don't have like a gimbal or anything. Multiple cameras for real. Follow me. But I'm over here. I'm really in the oven. Fabulous. Let's crank this up. So in the Zuni cookbook recipe, there wasn't a lot of vegetables in there. So these vegetables that I put in, obviously they released a lot of liquid that we wouldn't already have. So here we go. Those look good. Look pretty fucking good. I mean, pretty good to me. Alright. Alright. There we go. That is... It's weird, the lighting here is because it's so bright outside, but here in the house it's very, very dark, so it's like everything over here is very, very dark. I'm going to let these cool down a little bit, and I'm going to smother some Dijon mustard. I'm going to brush it on there. I'm going to put those under the broiler. Once this reduces a little bit, polenta's done. Asparagus. I'm thinking the asparagus is good. I'm going to turn that off the heat. So, we'll be back. Yeah. We're gonna be back in a little bit. I'm gonna plate this dinner up. Thank you very much. It is Saturday. And I'm going to Zippy Blame to do the goddamn motherfucking Hood Canal. And I'm making short ribs braised in. Oh, Chimay's in the refrigerator. Chimay. We'll be back. Get out of here. No, don't leave. Come back. Okay, here we go. We're about ready to finish this up. It's been, I don't know, 2.5, 3 hours. I'm still here. I'm doing all right. The sun, obviously the sun, like I said earlier on, now the sun's in full effect. But luckily enough, it's going to be light out for another hour, so we might go skinny dipping or go pearl diving, if you know what I mean, brothers. Okay, so I did have to add a little bit of a thickener to my sauce here, to my braising liquid. That's bubbling away nicely. Short ribs are under the broiler. I put a little smear of Dijon mustard on there. Our polenta is ready to go. Asparagus that was ready. Hopefully it's not too dead. So here I go, ready to make this happen. And we've done braised short ribs a number of times before, but this is the first. This would be the first time that we've done the braised short ribs where actually, like, all the bones fell off during the braising process. All right, so here we go. Let's see how this is going to go. And you know, these plates here, they're not really very attractive. There's some of our soft polenta.
They're beautiful.
More there for you. Some grilled. It's just simple. I didn't do anything. I almost thought about putting a little lemon zest on this asparagus, but I didn't. I'm sorry, I should have. So what do we got here? There's a potato. The carrots. Mushroom. Where are those? Oh, there we go. The radishes totally turned color. There we go. You've had dinner here with me and Rael. I'm Lord Zippy Blaine, the Duke of the goddamn motherfucking Delridge. Look at that, motherfuckers. I made Chimay Braised short ribs. Took, I don't know, about fucking 3 hours, plus all the advanced work. But you know what? It's worth it. It's Saturday night. We're making it happen. Peace and love. Hope everybody had a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. And tomorrow is the 1st of May, and that rings in 14 years of Zippy's Giant Burgers. This year we're not making a big deal about it, but that's, you got 14 years. How many of you people out there have done something for 14 years? It's remarkable. Okay, peace out. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, share this with your friends. Happy hour from the Wicker Boy, Lord Zippy Blaine.